You know, accounting is really a subject worth learning. When I was a younger man and going to school, I took an introductory accounting class and decided that maybe accounting was a really good major for me, even though I didn't necessarily want to become an accountant. You see, I'm kind of a type A personality. I'm the kind of person that likes to be in charge, likes to have responsibility, be accountable, call the shots. And I saw myself as potentially in the future maybe owning my own business or being the CEO of a major corporation. And when I took that introductory accounting class, my first accounting course, I discovered that accounting was the language of business. And it's a language of business because its sole purpose is to communicate information to business decision makers. Well, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a business decision maker. And probably the most important tool to anyone who's making business decisions is information. And it's very useful to know where information comes from, what it means, and how to use it to make better business decisions. And that's, in essence, what accounting is all about. And you know, even if you choose not to go into business, you're going to be forced to make business decisions throughout your life. For example, you may go down to buy a new car and then the salesperson may introduce or suggest that maybe you really should lease the car. Well, what is a lease? And so they give you some explanation, but you're not sure you understand. Maybe they even give you a lease contract. You start reading it and you realize that, hey, I really don't understand this language. I'm not really sure which is better, to buy a car or to lease it. And in that case, you may end up just kind of taking the recommendation of the salesperson, who's probably more interested in getting a big commission than they are in what's best for you. In addition, you're probably going to buy a home at some point in time. And you're going to need financing for that home. So what's it going to be? Should you get a 30-year, fully amortizing, fixed-rate mortgage? Or what are some of my options? Or do I even have any clue what you're talking about? Can you speak the language of business to make good decisions relative to the purchase of a home? Or, for example, maybe you're saving for retirement or will be saving for retirement. And you'll have an IRA account or a 401k plan, and you'll be making contributions for your future retirement. And somebody's going to come and ask you at some point in time, how do you want those funds invested? Do you want them invested in stocks or bonds? Some kind of a mutual fund, or maybe you want them invested in some commodities or the like. Well, do you speak the language of business? Do you know what stocks are? Do you know what bonds are? Do you know what the risks and potential advantages are of those various investments? Do you know what a mutual fund is and how to invest in those kinds of things? If you don't know if you can't speak the basic language of business, well, then you're going to find yourself depending upon the opinions of others. Maybe your money manager, you'll say, well, you just make the decision for me. There's great risk in letting other people make decisions about your financial future. You ought to speak at least a little bit of the language so that you can communicate and participate to some extent in those decisions and monitor their progress. You see, you're going to be making business decisions throughout your life. And you're going to be listening to the news and hearing about corporate profits and other earnings per share and other language. And, will you understand it? Understanding the basics of accounting will help you to be a more, not only make better personal decisions, but be a more educated person in our world today. I hope you like this introduction to accounting.